Now, lots of you asked how I dealt with the bug in the food situation on my Emirates flight, and I'm going to tell you exactly what. So on discovery of this rather alive bug that I had almost accidentally consumed with my starter, I politely summoned the air stewardess who was serving the cabin section I was in, and I showed her what was on the plate. I didn't even actually have to say anything. I just smiled and gestured towards the plate. She then observed the bug, reacted accordingly of rather shock and horror, and apologised profusely. "I'm so sorry, madam," she said. "This is terrible. Please accept my apologies and let me go and get the manager." So off she went to get her superior, the cabin crew manager, and this gentleman came down and spoke to me. He apologised on behalf of himself and the airline. He said, and I quote, "This doesn't often happen," which was a little bit of a concern, I must say. And then he said, "Please let me take your name, well, he already knew my name, but your address, your email address perhaps, so that we can follow up with this afterwards." Now, interestingly enough, they didn't get in touch. So look, I wasn't going to kick up a fuss. I was enjoying the flight. The rest of the flight was absolutely incredible. I couldn't fault. The service was impeccable. The food was delightful. The drinks, the experience, the ambience, everything was wonderful, apart from the bug, which was obviously quite a large thing. And the irony was not lost on me that it was in my food. And as an etiquette teacher, an expert, that's what I was confronted with. But life is too short sometimes, so I didn't kick up a fuss. I was very polite about it, but I will be sending a follow-up letter or email just to note my concerns on the subject and to hope that they look to tighten up their quality control when it comes to bugs flying aboard the plane. The British love to complain, but we tend to indirectly complain, and that can be a problem sometimes, because what you should always do if you have an issue with anything at all is politely inform someone in charge so that they can actually sort it out. If you start to complain about something and feel that you're not getting the resolution you're looking for, you should politely ask to speak to that person's senior, their manager perhaps, so that you can speak to someone about your issue as you believe it to be very important. I would advise that you try to get the complaint resolved there and then. Don't allow them to fob you off with saying that you have to write a letter or an email, as sometimes that's an easy way to get out of dealing with the issue at hand. Particularly if you're staying in a nice hotel, for example, and there's an issue with, say, how the housekeeping has been done or service at an evening meal, it should be dealt with there and then, and the hotel should offer a form of apology. When you complain in person, be discreet as possible. Don't become angry or abusive, because it won't get you anywhere. And when you go to leave an email complaint, which I will be doing on the bug situation, don't be tempted to send it anonymously and then let your inner troll come out. That's not particularly advised. It's better to sign it off with your name, calmly and politely explain the situation and why you were disappointed, and then seek to ask them for a suitable resolution. Put the ball in their court to sort this out. Of course, you can make suggestions of what you'd like to achieve, but that can sometimes not get you the results you're looking for. If you're complaining on the phone, it can be really tempting to get angry and shout at the person you're on the phone to. When we get frustrated, our emotions run high. So I strongly recommend in any instance to just talk about your feelings. What I say to the person on the phone is, look, this is not your fault and I'm not angry with you, but I am really angry about the situation and I want to get this resolved. This helps the person at the end of the phone understand your frustrations and help to resolve the issue. Being rude will typically get the backup of the other person, cause them to be defensive, and they just won't want to help you. Whereas if you're polite and respectful, you're most likely going to take steps towards getting the resolution you're looking for. Sometimes all you need to do is smile confidently and say, I'm sure we can resolve this. Have you ever had to complain about anything? Or have you ever had a bug experience like I did recently in my food? Let me know in the comments below.